Hi, my name is Johnny Curry. I'm the athletic director here at Farmington High, and you are Scorpions and Scorp fans. Give yourself a hand, big hand. Thank you for coming. This is a good place to be. I have about 20 transfer students that I'm working with right now that have come from overseas, Michigan, across the road, and I tell them every time when we're done with the paperwork and we exit, man, this is a great place to be. Over 101 years of Farmington High athletics right here, and you're a part of that, and you're going to be a part of that as you go through your high school career. All right, tonight, introductions, rank 1, necessary form, sportsmanship, and breakout. Now, at the end of this thing, there's going to be a QR code, and you're going to shoot it with your camera, and you're going to go to that form, and you're going to fill it out, and it proves that you were here. So let's say you have a volleyball player here tonight, but she's also going to run track. Well, I got to go to the stupid spring meeting. No, you don't, because you do the form and you're done for the rest of the year. Now, if you have family members or boys and girls, you have your friend's parents not here, but they were supposed to be here. Well, they can watch it on the website. We're recording tonight, and same deal. Watch it online, shoot the QR code, and it proves that they watched it. And you're done for the rest of the year. I will still be here for the spring meeting and for the winter meeting in case you just want to come. I'll be here. Moving along. Mr. Torres is not here this evening. Mr. Gamboa, our district athletic director, is on his way. Mr. Yazi, AT, athletic trainer, is just around the corner. He's going to talk to us here in just a little bit. Ms. Melendez is new to Farmington High. She's our new athletic trainer. So you get to clap for her here in a minute. Ms. Riley is our athletics and activities secretary. She is the backbone of athletics here at Farmington High. Coach Velasquez is not here tonight. He's our gym master and field master for the fall and spring seasons. And then again, I'm Coach Curry. Fall coaches, Coach Dalton football, Coach Newland cross country, Coach Smith and Coach Frost, I believe they're finishing up the first day of tryouts. They're on their way. There's Coach Smith. Say hi to Coach Smith. Boys soccer, and then Coach Duran volleyball. Coach McGee. Oh, I'm so sorry. Coach McGee, KGs, and then that means I'm forgetting Coach Moore, cheer too. This is the video that the NMA has asked us to watch. So let's watch this real quick.
The NMAA knows that community support is a major factor in bringing an impactful and meaningful experience to our student athletes each year. In recognition of that support, the NMAA would like to thank TLC for their valued sponsorship of this year's preseason video.
Hi, Dale Armstrong from TLC. We are proud supporters of NMAA. In the world of high school sports, where competition is fierce, it's easy to get caught up pursuing victory. But even with the thrill of the game, there are a couple things that you must never forget: sportsmanship and mental health. Taking care of your mental health equips you to be resilient, focused, and able to bounce back from setbacks. So as you step into the competition, remember the importance of sportsmanship and mental health. Compete with respect and compassion.
Hi, I'm JP Murrieta with the New Mexico Activities Association. Welcome to the start of another high school season. Much like your coaches are going over the goals for the season, this video will talk about some of the expectations the NMAA has for this year, specifically in regards to sportsmanship and competing with class. The NMAA promotes a level of competition that involves respect, integrity, and responsibility for student athletes, fans, parents, and coaches. The primary purpose of high school athletics and activities is to prepare students for the next level. Not the next level of athletic competition, the next level of life. Through athletics and activities, students learn, grow, and develop just as they do in the classroom. Over 8 million students nationwide participate in high school athletics, but less than 2% earn an athletic scholarship.
The high school sports experience is really one of the most powerful tools for personal growth in a young person's life. It builds character, teaches resilience, discipline, how to handle both success and failure. Teamwork's a very important piece to it. Athletes learn how to lead, communicate, and be accountable. It also helps with the students' well-being, both physical and mental. Gives them a sense of purpose, belonging, and it instills those lifelong values like integrity, respect, and perseverance.
High school athletics is a godsend for most kids that play it. And one of the saddest moments every year in my life is when I see the seniors that aren't going to suit up anymore. Either because they're going on to do other things or they're not good enough to play at the next level. And it is such a influential part of their lives while they're in it. And when we're young, we don't realize it, right? It's kind of like, oh, this is going to be here forever. And then when it's gone, you realize how special it was. So, you know, my support of the NMAA, my support of high school sports, youth sports, will never end, because I think all of the attributes that student athletes learn from sports, work ethic, teamwork, communication, working within a schedule, right? All those things help you do well in life.
Education-based athletics and activities really are an extension of the classroom. They support academic success by teaching students responsibility, time management, goal setting, and then through teamwork and leadership roles, they learn how to communicate, solve problems, work with others, and those are all skills that will serve them far beyond high school. These programs are intentionally designed to align with educational values. The lessons students learn on the field, on the stage, in the gym, in student government, they often shape who they become as adults. And it's not just about competition, it's about preparing young people for life.
The New Mexico Activities Association sportsmanship bylaws include specific penalties for egregious acts of unsportsmanlike conduct, better known as the two strikes policy. As a reminder to everyone, the bylaw specifies the possibility of suspension of a team or fan or entire fan base from athletic activities for egregious unsportsmanlike conduct. The bylaw reads, anytime an egregious act of unsportsmanlike conduct by a team participant, including a coach, occurs 2 or more times during the same season, at the same school, in the same activity, the team will be suspended from participation in that activity for the remainder of the season. The bylaw also applies to parents and fans. Anytime an egregious act of unsportsmanlike conduct by a non-team participant occurs 2 or more times during the same season, at the same school, in the same activity, the non-team member, which means a parent or fan, along with all school spectators, will be suspended from attendance in that activity for the remainder of the season.
Some examples of egregious behavior would be fans getting into a fight in the stands, spectators running onto the basketball court to engage in an altercation, spectators chasing umpires to their cars in the parking lot, or chasing those basketball officials to the locker room after the game. Those are all things that go well above and beyond just cheering on your team, maybe making a comment after a call. Those are things that we definitely have to eliminate from high school athletics.
The entire sportsmanship bylaw can be found on our website, nmact.org. This video is a reminder that the two strikes policy is still in place for this school year. Sportsmanship takes priority over winning. We would like to see everyone, athletes, coaches, parents, and fans, compete with class.
Several years ago, our state recognized that sportsmanship was a problem. Our schools came to us and said, we need some help. We're seeing some things in high school athletics that shouldn't be there. Those fights in the stands, bench clearing brawls, parents chasing after officials after a game. We have to eliminate those things. So our office came in, implemented this two-strike policy, not as something that we want to come down and punish our schools or our spectators or our teams, but just to help. We got to remember this is education-based athletics, and if we can eliminate that unsportsmanlike conduct, we're doing the right thing for kids.
If you're a parent watching this video, this portion of the presentation is for you. About 40 seconds of your time is all I require. When you are at a game, do you lose control? If you do, everyone sees it. The officials, the other fans, and most importantly, your child. Don't ruin their experience with inappropriate language or unsportsmanlike conduct. Don't let them see you at your worst. Let them see you at your best. Your child looks to you for inspiration, direction, and how to act. Show your child what is acceptable and what isn't. Your actions have an impact. Make it a positive one. Our student athletes deserve your support. So the next time you are at the game, remember this message. You are not the coach or referee. You are a supporting parent.
You know, those officials aren't trying to screw anything up. They're doing the very best they can, and that's a difficult job. And so, you know, we just talk to our people about, you know, giving people some grace, you know, like giving people, you know, we'd all be a lot better if we did that in real life too, you know.
We just got to worry about what we're doing as a program rather than worried about officials, worried about other opponents. We just take care of our own business, and hopefully we set a great example.
Nobody's perfect, right? And we the officials have a very, very tough job. They're calling things right in the moment when everybody else is in the stands and can replay it in their head as it goes when these officials have to move on. So we tell them, leave the officials alone. They're doing the best that they can do, and we have some great officials in New Mexico. So if we want to continue to grow this game, we have to do it the right way.
Don't throw your hands up when refs call, something. Take it, learn from it, move on.
At the end of the day, you let the players play, let the coaches coach, the officials officiate, and cheer on your son, your daughter, cheer on the team, and just be supportive that they're out there competing.
One of our sayings, and this goes back to, our executive director, Dr. Mabry, one of his favorite quotes is be good to people. And we try to, we want to really emphasize that with what we meet with, with what we do throughout the year. So we try to tell everybody, and we end a lot of our meetings with, remember, be good to people.
Not everything will go your way this season. How you respond to it will define you. Winning is rewarding. Winning is an important goal. But the number one reason kids take part in athletics and activities isn't to just win, it's to have fun. Keep that in mind during this season.
Remember that at the end of the day, we're all on the same team with a pretty simple but shared mission. Whether it's the NMAA, coaches, administrators, or officials, we are all here to provide opportunities for students to grow and develop through education-based athletics and activities. And when each group and our parents and spectators are working together, the result is a positive experience for our kids. Now let's go out and have a great season.
I'm going to have Mr. Yazzie, one of our athletic trainers, talk to you about the forms and so forth that you need to have before you compete here at Farmington High. Mr. Yazzie.
Like Mr. Curry said, my name is Tate. A lot of people just call me Tate. This is Celeste Melendez. She's our new athletic trainer here. We're just here to go over forms, everything you guys might be having some questions about right now. So first thing we're going to go over is rank 1. There's 5 forms that you need to have. That's the APF form, medical history, insurance card, your physical, and your FHS confession for students, which is separate than that little form you sign on the physical. This is just showing you how to get to it. Easiest way is to go to the Farmington High School website, go to the menu, and go to athletics. And from there, go to rank 1, and that takes you to everything you need to do. Some of the things you will have to upload, some of the other stuff you just fill out right there on rank 1. But this is the easiest way to get to it. The NFHS link on this portal is a little broken right now, so I think the easiest way to get that thing done would be just to look up the NFHS confession for students. And then that way we make sure you guys get the right one done the first round. Alright, we look at the medical history. Just fill this out to the best of your knowledge. This is one of the things you fill out on rank 1, the APF as well. You just have to sign some forms, input it in, and that's all. The more that we know, the more that we can help you though. So I'd list anything you guys have, such as allergies, any medical things that we should know about, medication, just whatever you guys feel like is necessary to put on there, just so we can know and we can help you guys out a lot more.
Hi everyone, it's Celeste. I'm the athletic trainer, so I'm excited to be here, excited to work with your kids. So the next thing we have to upload is our insurance card. So all we're looking for is the front and back of the card with their first and last name, whether that's the policy holder or the child. And then if the student is Native American, you can also upload the CID number, that's who it is. And so that will be also then the next step. Now we also have a physical form to upload. So that's going to be signed by your child's physician. What we're looking for mainly is that the physician checks off the medically eligible to participate in athletics, and make sure that their first and last name is in.
So there is a couple of different iterations of this form. What we do need to make sure that we do have on any form you do have would be the medical eligibility box. That has to be checked off. There is a new form coming around that kind of looks like that one, but it doesn't have any of the boxes on the bottom. So that's the ones we cannot accept. You just have to make sure it says medically eligible and something's checked and signed by a physician. It's dated after April 1st. That's all we really require. And then for the FHS, again, I'm going to mention, just make sure you do the concussion for students. There's multiple different tests. The most common one is concussion in sports. We cannot accept that one, no matter what. It's just a district rule, so we have to do the concussion for students, and it has to be done every school year. So if you guys haven't done it beforehand, you have to do it. But it is good for the training. A lot of people have questions about sway testing. We will do that as a group, as a team. This week we have a lot of tryouts, so we'll do a lot of the sway testing after tryouts, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and even at parent meetings upcoming next week. Just to give us baseline numbers, so if your kid does suffer any kind of head injury or impact to the head, we have something to go off of, and then we can better evaluate your kid for possible concussion, and then we can kind of take care of them more in-house, rather than you sending them out and the kid being out for like a month at a time.
So there is school insurance, district insurance through Merit. It is kind of a secondary insurance.
If you guys aren't needing this, I think Celeste mentioned it, you can upload a copy of your power school schedule or your school ID, and that'll be accepted. And then you'll be under this insurance. It does take a lot.
Tate and Celeste Melendez are athletic trainers. We're really fortunate to have 2 athletic trainers here at our school. We have 2 at PV as well. Coaches and I go to these conferences across the state. When we tell them that, they just look at us with their mouth dropped because they can't believe it that we have an athletic trainer, let alone 4 between the 2 schools, actually 5. So we're very blessed, and it's awesome that they can be here and help your students. Miss Riley is our athletic secretary, athletic and activity secretary. She's in that office up there, but she's going to talk to us about eligibility.
Hey, I was just talking to Mr. Curry recently. I absolutely love a new season. Start of the season, all the promise and all the possibilities. So welcome back, sports. I'm so excited for our fall sports. I hope you are too. 8th grade participation. If you are an 8th grader or the parent of an 8th grader and you have not come to see me yet to fill out an 8th grade participation filing, you need to do that ASAP. You should actually not even be practicing until you have done that. Coaches, I have my list. It's pretty darn updated. 8th graders, make sure that you're on that list. It's an electronic filing. They cannot send it to you. You have to come in. I sign it. You sign it at the same time, and we submit it. It doesn't take very long, just a very few minutes. I do not need the student. I only need a parent or guardian. And 8th graders, you have to live in our FHS attendance zone and be enrolled. Well, it says enrolled at FHS, but it's actually 8th grader would be living in our attendance zone. So if you're on a waiver and living outside of our attendance zone, you are probably not going to get to participate as an 8th grader at the high school. There are some rare exceptions. You can contact us and we'll talk about that. Eligibility, guys, I am looking at your grades. You must have a 2.0 GPA and no Fs. That's semester by semester, so I'm looking at your grades from last spring. If you haven't got a 2.0 or if you have an F, then you are not eligible. You need to get those grades up. Pay attention, don't wait till the last minute, you guys. Don't wait till the end of the semester to make the grade. Get those grades every day. Get to class, make your grades. It'll make your life so much easier and so much less stressful. So do it. Parents, if your kid is taking a dual credit class, you're probably the parent of a really good student. That's why they're in a dual credit. Please, please pay attention to that. You have no idea how often a straight A student fails a dual credit class. They somehow don't get over there to the college the first day if that's where the class is, or they're nervous about finding the class, they're worried about something, and next thing you know, they failed that class and they're in trouble eligibility-wise. So parents, just help your kids out. Coaches, please be aware of those students as well. And you can't check Power School for those grades. You've got to check in with that student. The QR code up there, you can scan it and purchase tickets that way. I also have season pass passes and reserve seating, the reserve seating for football or for volleyball, and then general admission passes for football, volleyball, soccer, whatever. You can see me to get the best prices for those doing cash or check here in the athletics office. You can get most of those things online, but it's definitely a little more expensive that way. So come see me. I'll try to get some information to your coaches about what those prices are, so you'll have a good idea, but I guarantee you that's the best price you're going to get. I think that's it for me. Come see me. Parents have a great first place to go if you don't know where to go for something. You need a holler student, I'm always there, so come see me, whatever you need.
Yeah, and she means that. Give it up for Miss Riley, please. So before we get into compete with class and our core values and so forth, our executive director of athletics and operations is the most mobile guy in this entire district. He's been to all the schools in our district. He does it every day almost, and he's always on the move, so I'm glad he got to be here tonight, Mr. Isaac Gamboa.
Thank you. Good to see everybody here. It's exciting. We got a new year, and I love this time of year because it means we get kids back on the field and on the court playing. So thank you for being here. I want to touch on two things real quick. Number one, I'm going to send an email out to everybody in the next few days, and it's going to discuss our core values and our above-the-line behavior. That above-the-line behavior is what we're focusing on moving forward from now on in athletics, and that's to make sure we represent our town in a decent and respectful manner whenever we're competing here locally or away, okay? So if you see a staff member, coach, anybody not acting above the line, let's have a conversation. But also, if we're getting a little crazy in the crowd, somebody nudges you and reminds you, hey, let's stay above the line, just know we're holding each other accountable, okay? Second thing I want to talk about is the pressures our kids face. Be careful of the pressures that we put on them. They're already seeing pressure from the coaches. They're seeing pressure from the fans, they're seeing pressure from their teammates, and the game itself. So at home, some days they're going to vent. Let them vent, coach it through it. If there's a major issue that needs to be brought up with the coach, let's have that conversation. But know that our coaches have your kids' interests at heart. Okay? My wife, before my kids all graduate, only let me ask them 3 questions. Did you have fun? Did you give your best effort? Or were you a good teammate? Outside of that, she didn't let me ask you questions because I shouldn't be putting extra pressure on them. They're going to have bad days. They're going to struggle in competition. Coach them through it, push them through it, but they also know what they have to do to beat that teammate in front of them or to get that starting spot. So push them and guide them through it. If there's an issue again, let's have that conversation. We have a great coaching staff and we have a great athletic department here at Farmington High. So trust us. And we'll work together, and we'll make sure your kids are taken care of. Thank you all. I appreciate you all being here.
All right, thank you, Coach Gamboa. So we're going to touch on some of the stuff that he mentioned, and all of this stuff is online, whether it's on our website, the FHS website, the FMS website, or the NMAA website. This is the Compete with Class. JP mentioned it in the video that you watched a little bit ago. Main part of this is the NMAA encourages all member schools to promote and establish a strong culture of sportsmanship based on the core values of respect, integrity, and responsibility. We'll talk more about that here in a minute. From the Farmington Municipal Schools Handbook, student athlete must attend school. I know. You got to go to class. On a daily basis, practices, contests, maintains class eligibility, like Ms. Riley was talking about, adhere to the rules of the Farmington High Student Handbook, and their conduct must be conducive to the Farmington Municipal Schools District representative, including showing respect to property and persons at all times, and that's throughout the community. Refraining from possession and use of tobacco, alcohol, or drugs, we'll talk about that in a minute, and refraining from stealing, which is a breach of city and state statutes. Chemical abuse policy, the possession, use, or being in the proximity. So let's say your student goes to a party and they didn't take anything, they didn't drink anything, but they're on social media postings right behind the guy who's holding up a beer. That's proximity, and they suffer the consequences. So proximity of illegal use of drugs and alcohol by a current athlete or athletic activity participant will result in immediate suspension. The first time is 30 days. That's 30 days from competition. The second time is 60 days, and the third time is the rest of the year. I think we'll all agree if there's a third time, then there's more at stake than just a stupid basketball, football game. Spectator conduct at NMAA events. Again, NMAA video touched on this. If you are at a sporting event and conduct yourself inappropriately, such as yelling at coaches, referees, athletes, or threatening staff, you may be subject to a verbal warning from the admin, such as myself, possibly escorted out. Mandatory meeting with the district athletic director, that would be Coach Gamboa, and school athletic director, that would be me. Spectator may be trespassed and not allowed to attend any on-campus NMAA events, and that includes graduation ceremony. Don't be that person. But quick story, I had a fan, I was at a softball game, and I had a fan that was right behind the dugout, where they could just chirp at the umpire. I mean, real close, the umpire was probably from here to there. And just chirping at the umpire, you know, why are you making that? It's not a strike, and so on and so on and so. So I approached him, I said, sir, you can't do that. And he says, why? I said, our fans don't do that here at Farmington High. And he gets up, and he's upset at me, because I told him you can't do that. So let's go over here, and you talk to me, tell me what your thoughts are. So he starts tearing into me about, everywhere I go, I can say whatever I want to the umpire except here. Why? I said, sir, I can't answer for any other school that you go to, but I can for Farmington High, and we're not going to do that here. We don't do that here. We're going to hear from an official here in just a little bit, and you're going to find out he's a human being just like you. Shops at the same stores, drives the same roads as you do. He's just a person, just like you. So we don't do that kind of stuff here at Farmington High. If you do, well, there's got to be consequences. Because every time you do something like that, you model that for our students. And we are working hard, as you're going to find out here in a minute, to make sure that our students aren't acting that way. All right, streaming. Farmington High School and Farmington Municipal Schools retain exclusive rights to all video streaming. We ask you that you don't stream, not to Facebook, not to grandma. I'm just streaming to grandma. Don't do it. Sometimes we charge for games, and so every time that you stream on your own, you're taking money from our programs. So please don't stream. Every school that you go to, say you go to Gallup, you go to Albuquerque School, whatever school you go to, they own the rights to that streaming. So just be aware, please. Attendance policy. Students that reach 12 absences in any class period will not be able to participate in interscholastic athletics and activities for the remainder of the semester. And a tardy is worth 0.25 absences, so 4 tardies is an absent. So and our coaches, they get to 8 absences in a class, we're talking in a class, they'll sit down with that kid, what's going on? You have 8, everything all right at home? Do we need to get with your parents? Why are you absent so much? So if they get to 12, they got to sit out, no questions asked. So just be aware of that. And we no longer have parent verified here at Farmington High. Parent verified is where a parent can call in, I verify that absence, and it's okay. Not anymore. So if it's an absence, it's part of that 12. It goes back to, we have to go to class. We have to be in school. Chain of command, Coach Gamboa mentioned it. We have great coaches here at Farmington High. This is a really good place. I say it all the time, and I tell every transfer that rolls through here. If you feel like a coach is treating your athlete poorly, here's the progression. The student has a conversation with the coach. If you're not satisfied with that, then you have a conversation with the coach. Actually, it starts with level coach. So let's say your student's on JV. Start with the JV coach, and then you talk to the JV coach. Then it goes to the head coach. And if all that doesn't work out, which most of the time it does, then you come to me. If it ever gets to Coach Gamboa, then that's where it dies. So please follow the chain of command. If you come to me and say, oh, Coach Curry, that's horrible. It's the worst thing ever in the world. I need to talk to you now. First question I'm going to ask you is, did you talk to the coach? Or did your student talk to the coach? All right, so that's the chain of command. When following a chain of command, there's 3 things that we will not talk about. I will not talk about, your coach will not talk about, or to the parent anyway, is we will not talk about other kids, because you don't want that yourself. We will not discuss strategies, positions, X and O's. My little girl needs to be playing shortstop. We're not going to talk about that. And we will not discuss playing time. That's all up to the coach. Undue stress. Don't put, Coach mentioned it, so I'm going to just breeze over this. But he said it, our kids are under a lot of pressure, man. And it's not like when we were growing up. It's different now. The phones and it's just, all eyes are on them all the time. There's a lot of pressure, so don't put pressure on them. Let them work it out. Coach them along. They're going to be okay, and we're here to help you make sure that they're okay. Thank you all the parents. Sometimes you're going to see parents setting up stuff. You're going to see them working a hospitality room. You're going to see them doing things. And it takes everybody. It takes everybody to have successful programs. And so parents, thank you for being involved. These two things I want to touch on real briefly. There's exception and importance. So here, please hear me when I say this. Your son or daughter is not the exception. Your son and daughter is not the exception. You, as a parent, are not the exception. However, you and your athlete are extremely important to this school, to the programs, to the 101 years that we've been playing here at Farmington High. They are extremely important. You are extremely important, just like I mentioned, but you are not the exception. It's two different things. Well, I can park on the sidewalk because I'm the exception. No, you can't. I mentioned that because it really happened. I don't have to pay when I come in. Well, yeah, you do. I'm sorry, you're not the exception. However, listen to me now, look at me. You are extremely important to everything that we do here at Farmington High. Whether it's in the classroom or on the field or on the court or anywhere else, you are extremely important. So please understand that. Some things just to be aware of: no parking in the lower north parking lot. That's one down here. That's reserved for officials, event staff, and if it's a football game, volleyball game, basketball game, that's where the buses park and the opposing coaches, if they drive. No pets allowed on campus. That's just a campus rule. No photography at court or field level. You have to have NMAA credentials in order to do that. There's no vaping, smoking section anywhere on campus. Some people think it's out behind the whatever. It's not. No alcohol allowed on campus. That should be a no-brainer. And adhere to all conduct rules. I mentioned before that we have an official that's going to talk to you. This particular official, I did the math. He's been officiating for 50 years. That's crazy. He must have started when he was 2 years old because he looks great. But I wanted him to talk to you for a little bit about what it is to be an official, what it is to be out here in front of everybody. Well, that side wants to win, and that side wants to win. And that side thinks they have a superstar athlete, and that side has a superstar athlete, and the official becomes the enemy, and they're not. So I just wanted him to talk to you a little bit about officiating. Mr. Wayne Atkinson, give him a hand, please.
Good evening, parents, students, coaches. Let me just say, this is a great school. My kids went to school here, and they're all successful in life, and Farmington High School played no small part in that. So this is a great place for your kids. You've got great coaches, administration at this school. They take great care of us as officials. Johnny kind of gave my background a little bit, so I'll let you do the math. Let's just say that my officiating career is pretty much in the rearview mirror. But I do it because I love it, and I want to get others involved. That's my passion in officiating, to get others involved. So, one thing I'd like to say is that we're all in this together. Parents, coaches, administrators, and officials. We're all in this for your students. We want them to have a great experience on the field at all times. We'll do our best to keep your kids safe by enforcing the rules to the best of our ability. We're going to make mistakes. but I can assure you, in the football game, we're going to make them on both ends. And just that way. Currently, in New Mexico, we have 300 football officials registered for the current season. In New Mexico, we have 128 schools that participate in football state. So on any given Friday night, that gives us 64 games. That's without cross-state things going on, Durango, Farmington, Bluefield, Ignacio, Coastal Springs. So you can see with that, with the numbers that we have, 64 games going on, times 5 officials, 320. We have 300 officials currently registered in the state. And obviously, we have some new officials on there that aren't varsity, up to the varsity level at this point. So we need your help down the line. What I would like to say is that we're missing a 25 to that 20-year-old age group. You know, the guys that can really run and get up and down the field. And I even want to attribute to while you're raising your kids. And I realized that when I had mine. So I would just like to challenge you, like when you get done raising your kids and they finish at Farmington High School, you encourage your student or yourself, mom or dad, to come out and participate as an official in one of the sports, whether it's basketball, football, soccer, volleyball. Come join us. Once we get you through that second or third year, you'll enjoy it, I promise you. So, if you know someone that wants to officiate, Mr. Curry has my contact information. He'll be glad to share it with you. And I look forward to having some of these young people get involved so that people like me that can eventually retire. But thank you for having me here, Mr. Curry. Have a great season. We love what we do. Have a great year.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Farmington Municipal Schools will pay for the first, for your getting your credentials as a referee. That's how important it is to us. If you're a student and you'd like to officiate, we have a course a curriculum called Ref Reps. In fact, I had a student bug me about it today. I need to register him. He wants to officiate volleyball and basketball, I think he said. So he goes through the course, he gets certified, then he gets hooked up with someone like Mr. Atkinson, and they ref a game for free, and then all the other games they get paid. And so a kid could make some pretty good money, because there's middle schools, don't forget middle schools need referees and so forth. So if you have a student or you're a student that want to get hooked up with refereeing, then let me know. If you're an adult and you'd like to become an official, let me know and I'll point you in the right direction. Okay, so these next few slides are some of the things that we do here at Farmington High to help you at home in terms of character and doing the right thing and accountability and being a leader, not just for yourself and your team, but for anyone that you come across. And we teach them that through certain things we'll go over in a minute, that they don't have to be someone else, someone other than they are to be a leader. They can be exactly who they are right now and be a good leader. And we show them how to do that. So that's some of these things. As a group, we have this thing called Athletes for Athletes, and that's where every program will, so a program, say for example football, will pick coach, what's your A4A game? The Durango game is the A4A game for football. So every program will get together, go to the football game, they'll sit in the student section, and they'll support the football program for that game. Now they'll do it for most games, but that's a big event. And all the programs go, and then football will in turn go to all those programs that showed up for them. And so it just reciprocates, it just keeps on giving. It's called Athletes for Athletes. So get with your coaches and find out when your A4A game is. FCA, Farmington High has FCA every Monday morning, 7:30 right here in the arena. And they always have food and snacks, right? Yeah, that's good. I love when there's leftovers. Coach Gamboa mentioned the FMS core principles. These are guiding principles that our coaches are going to instill and teach to your athlete, that I will through student leadership interaction. On the right is Scorpions, which is an acronym for strength, character, optimism, respect, pride, integrity, opportunity, noble success. Our town, and that's a culmination of all the schools, including the middle schools, same deal. And all the schools have a different acronym, but it basically means the same thing. So these are our core principles that coaches will be talking to your students about. Also, he talked about above the line, below the line. For each one of those core principles, there's an above the line, below the line behavior. For example, for strength, take on challenges and problems with a solution-oriented mindset. That's an above the line behavior. Well, conversely, below the line behavior is quitting when things get difficult. We don't do that. We don't do that here. Anything below the line, we don't do that here. And if an athlete on the field is doing some sort of below the line behavior, I'm hoping that a student leader on the field or on the court will say, hey, that's below the line, let's go, let's get above the line. And that's it, turn it around. Character Matters is a curriculum that we've had for 3-4 years now, I believe. And it's a whole it's like core values. Coaches will take a word and there's a whole class on it. They'll sit down with their athletes for 10 or 15 minutes and they'll talk about that word and what it means. It might be integrity, it might be optimism, it might be whatever. The posters from last year are up there. We're going to move those down into the athletes hallway down below. We're going to put the new ones up there. So that's another way that we're help to teach your athlete about character and about leadership. Scorp leadership sessions. You know, it used to be where I would tell the coaches, hey, send me 1 or 2 of your kids that you believe are leaders, or just right on that edge. And we'd fill it up, and then finally I said, you know what, send me all your kids, because all your kids are going to have to lead at one time or another. Every kid on the field, whether it's the kid that doesn't play a lot on C team or the starting quarterback on varsity, they all have to lead. And we need to show them how they can lead in their own way, with their own personality. They don't have to be anybody different. Tradition Rally, 7th hour, August 18th. I'll have every single athlete in the school in these stands right here. It's going to be about, I don't know what, about 450, 500, something like that. We're going to give them a little bracelet, Scorpion Tradition bracelet. We're going to talk about these things and some of the things that we talked about to you tonight. And we're going to tell them what's acceptable, what's above the line, what's below the line, and how they need to be leaders on their team and in their community and in this school. And we'll get them hyped, we'll get them pumped for this year. All right, that's it. Get your phones out. What you're going to do is it should take you to a form, like a Google form. Tell me if it doesn't. You fill it out. You acknowledge that you've been here, and listen to me. Once you do that, you hit submit, you're done. You don't have to come to another one of these meetings again. There's only 2 more after this. Yeah, you don't have to cheer about it. Come on. You as a parent have got to acknowledge that you've seen this presentation or your kid does not play. You as a parent have to acknowledge that you've seen this presentation or your kid does not play. Well, there's a lot of kids not here tonight, Coach. Yes, I understand that. That's why we're going to take this presentation, put it online. That QR code will be at the end of the presentation. If you do not come to a meeting and acknowledge that you've been to the meeting, to the mandatory parent-player meeting, your kid does not play until you watch it. All right. Thanks again, folks. It's going to be a great year. Thanks for being a Scorp.